Hey guys, have you ever been hurt by something your friend said? Or has your friend ever came to you and said, "Hey, that hurt," and you were like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know. I was trying to help." Yeah, this video's for you. Let's get right into it.
Good boy.
Invisible disabilities is specifically disabilities that you can't see. The outside observer cannot tell that you have a disability or that you are having an issue. I mean, sometimes you can, like, there's going to be a clue at some point because, the person might faint or go convulse if they have seizures or whatever it is, but you couldn't look at them in the beginning and say, "Hey, that person's disabled," because there's nothing to, tell them that, right? But we have people in our lives that we've told about our disabilities. They know about the disabilities and they want to help. But sometimes sometimes that help is basically the opposite of what we need, because they want to solve the problem, right? They want to cure you. And if you have a chronic illness or a permanent disability, you're not going to be cured by whatever it is. So yeah, that's an issue. But what I can do for you today is help you come up with some other things that you might say to your friends that would validate them, help them understand you, or help you understand them, and just, actually be able to show your support. Because I know that, even strangers don't necessarily mean anything by, "Oh, you don't look sick." I've been told that before. But yeah, this is actually invalidating. And it's basically you're saying, "I don't believe you. You don't look like you're sick, so you must be fine." And honestly, people they don't mean it that way, but that's the way that it comes off. And it just, invisible disabilities are already very isolating experiences because nobody outside of our body and our mind can understand what's going on inside, right? Um, there's no frame of reference for other people who've never had the level of fatigue that comes from chronic illnesses. If they've never had that, they just like, "Well, you're tired, go to sleep. It's, you'll be better tomorrow." It doesn't really work that way in the chronic illnesses, and it's frustrating, and it's hard for your friends, for the individuals who have the disability, to hear that you look fine, so you should be fine. That's really hard. So instead of saying that, if your friend or your family member is coming to you and telling you, "Hey, I can't go on the family trip. I can't go to the party today because I am not feeling well. It's a flare-up day." Instead of saying, "Well, you don't look sick," how about you say this instead? "Oh, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do to help you?" That shows that you actually do care about them and you do believe that they aren't feeling well. And it's much more validating, much better for the disabled individual. It's never a good thing to invalidate other people's experiences, even if you think that by saying, "Oh, you don't look sick," like you're trying to make them feel like, you don't look bad, like you're okay. It's not going to land the same way as you think it should. So next one. "Well, everyone gets tired, so just go to sleep, like you'll be fine." Again, that's invalidating. And it's also it the invisible disability, the person who has it will internalize that and be like, "Well, yeah, why can't I just go to sleep and be fine?" And it makes us feel like there's something wrong with us, or we're broken. And it amplifies the negative feelings that comes with chronic illnesses and other invisible disabilities. So instead of that, how about saying, Oh, I believe you. I believe your experiences. I'm sorry that you're so tired. That must be really frustrating. And I know this part is very difficult for the solvers out there that just want to like, here, I fixed it for you. You can't really fix their disability. It's permanent. Um, so accepting that and accepting that, especially with especially with dynamic conditions where the symptoms will be worse at one point and better in others, and it could be the same day. Like, just accept it. It might be random that they just like, hey, I can't go, and just don't take it as if like they don't want to hang out with you, because that's not it. They want to go out and do these things because that's how you live life, and you want to have these experiences, but your body and your mind isn't letting you. So yeah, just kind of have a conversation with them around it. Like, if they're fatigued and they can't go out, maybe even suggest, hey, we can just, stay in and watch some Netflix and just hang out, if that would work better for you. And that will make that person feel like you actually do want to care, you actually do want to hang out with them, and it's not. And also they will understand that they're not hurting you by saying, hey, I can't go. It's like this whole this whole thing kind of comes together, right? And it might be the person can't even do that. Maybe all they can do is like, just tell me that you care about me, and hope I get this flare goes away soon and you can see me again. Something like that. Like, don't try to make it this big thing. Okay, so the next one is actually said a lot, especially in the medical field, and in like, if whenever you go to a doctor, if they can't see it because it's invisible, right? They can't see it and nothing shows up on their little charts that nothing's wrong with you, then they often say, well, it's just in your head, like you're just anxious or you're just depressed, like here's some pills, like hopefully that'll work for you. Yeah, that's part of medical gaslighting, and that will be in another video. But this can also be said by our friends, and maybe not in that like bold of a way, but maybe just well, like, have you tried to change your mindset and just have a positive outlook, and have you tried these different things? It all ends up being invalidating and feeling like you really don't understand them and you don't care enough to try to understand them. So instead of that, perhaps again, just asking them what you can do to help them, if anything, and just follow their lead, because often they know what they need, especially if they've had this for a while. Don't ever try to tell them that it's in their head or they can change it by changing their thought processes, because again, the thing that is making us not feel well isn't really a conscious thing, and it's chemical, or it's physical, or it's whatever it is, depending on what condition you have, but you can't control it. They can't control it. And instead of trying to control it, they have learned their limitations. They've learned when they can go and do more things, and when they are like, I can't go out today. And just respect them, respect their choices. And you could say, hey, oh, that's a bummer, but we'll go out sometime else, like just get better, and trust them that they know what they need, and respect that. And you could just say, hey, I get it, it's a bummer, but we'll see you again another day when you're feeling better. Oh, this one is very frustrating, when someone says, well, just try harder. You have no idea how hard they try to just live, to just get out of bed, to just take a shower. Like these little things that you're going to be taking for granted because it doesn't make you dizzy and faint to take a shower. Yeah, they are using their entire energy just to be upright and there with you at that moment. So to say that, like, oh, just try harder, it makes them feel like nobody can ever appreciate the work that they do put into it. They feel like, and this is a problem for a lot of people who have invisible disabilities. They start to feel like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just, it's all in my head. And what that does is actually make them want to push themselves harder than they should. And then they end up like unable to do anything and just in bed for like 3 days straight because they've expended all possible energy and reserve energy to do the thing to prove that, okay, I can do the thing. So really just, again, it's all about respect. It's about listening to them, actively listening. If they tell you what they need, or if they tell you that, hey, I can't do this today, trust that that's true and just support them. So this next one is very frustrating for me too. When someone says that you're just lazy. And again, I mean, as a friend or a family member, hopefully that's not something that you would say to them. But this happens a lot with at work or like extended family that don't quite understand. And I cannot tell you how frustrating that is because, again, the person who has the invisible disabilities have had to learn to change what they know about their limitations, and they want to do more. They used to be able to do more, and they may be able to do more in a few days, but they can't do more right now. And dynamic invisible disabilities are so random, and like, you can do as much as you can to minimize things, but you're never going to be able to like predict, okay, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to have a flare day, so I'll tell work that I can't come in tomorrow because tomorrow I'm not going to feel well. You don't know until the moment. So yeah, this is bringing back a lot of memories of being in work and being told that I'm lazy because I'm sitting down, or unprofessional. Yeah, no, thank you very much. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, there's some enragement here. So just avoid that when you're talking to someone. Even if you don't know they have a disability, like, there's likely a reason why they have to sit down a lot or taking more breaks. And that has to be okay. Like, we need to change the narrative in America and beyond that, human beings have to work for 8 hours straight and only have like a half an hour lunch and 2 15-minute, breaks, if that. And really, we don't need that. We don't need to just always be going. And people with disabilities, especially things, dynamic conditions that get worse or better depending, they can't do that without harming themselves, without ending up on the weekends totally dead because they pushed themselves so hard at work and they have no life outside of that because they can't do anything. So yeah, this It's not laziness. Okay. Instead of saying you're being lazy, let them know, I appreciate how hard you are trying, because that's really what we want. We want to be validated. We want people to see how much we're working so hard to be a part of the family, or the the friends, to live, to do life events, right? We want to be seen and heard, but that's not always a thing that we can ask for because of culture and everything yeah, if you aren't doing XYZ amount of work, then you are lazy, and right? Let them know that you appreciate them, because especially if you know what their condition is, and you know that like they have ups and downs and they're having a flare day, you can know that they're working hard just to sit up sometimes. So just let them know that you appreciate them wanting to go to whatever event that it is that they wanted you to go to, or you wanted them to go to. It's just thinking outside of the normal, like, oh, this is totally normal things to do that nobody should have a problem doing, like taking a shower, or cooking, or getting up and cleaning the entire house. Not possible unless they're having a really good day. But then if they push themselves, if they are having a good day, you're gonna be dead the next day, or even that night, if you do it too much. So it's a hard balance that we live in, and knowing that someone can understand that, can at least empathize with it, that actually will go a long way. When someone is trying to be like, oh, it could be worse, and you could not have use of any of your limbs, and yes, it could be worse, but by comparing them and their experience to something that is worse is unfair. They already have this internal guilt of like, well, I should be able to do this because, yeah, I have my my limbs and I should be able to use them. Yeah, I didn't know that this would be so hard for me today, because these points are really kind of hitting home. Yeah, don't compare them with other people, with other people's problems, because then they're just going to feel like they're a burden, and you're confirming it, and there's something wrong with them. They're broken, and they're never gonna have the worth of, yeah, just don't do that, please. And instead, perhaps let them know that you're there for them, and say, hey, I'm sorry that it's this hard for you right now. Is there anything I can do for you? Something simple. Let them tell you what they need. If they need you to leave, don't take it personally. Yeah, so that's a big one. There are people that tell individuals with invisible disabilities that like, oh, you just need to exercise more. That's why you can't sleep. That's why you're tired. So just, get up in the morning at like 5 a.m. and take a run, and you'll be perfect. If they can barely walk, do you really think that they can go running? I mean, even on a good day, if they overdo it, they're gonna not be able to walk again, and it's gonna be terrible. Don't tell your friends that there's some random thing in the Appalachia place that this will cure everything, and it's the, I don't know, fountain of youth or something. Most likely the things that say that, oh, this can cure everything, it's likely just a scam, and your friend has likely tried probably everything that you bring up. Instead of trying to come up with these things, just ask them what they need, what you can do for them, because behind saying, hey, there's this thing, you should try it because you'll be better, behind that, your intention is that you want them to feel better. You want to fix it. You do because you care about them. But it's not going to work, and it just makes us feel worse. And if you instead accept you can't fix it, accept it's permanent, accept that they're going to have to live with this for the rest of their lives, even if for some, I don't know, we get Star Trek level medical and, they get a hyper spray and sure, they're cured all of a sudden. I mean, that would be great, but it's not likely, and just expect it not to get better, and then be pleasantly surprised if they ever do get cured, or medical science comes up with some other thing that lets them see whatever it is that is causing it, because they don't have that right now for a lot of things. So you're so brave. Just being like, oh, you're a hero. And like, I mean, they're people, and they don't want to be like idolized because they're living. They're just living. So instead of that, just be like, yeah, just tell them that you admire them and you care about them and you want to help them. It's really all of this comes down to respect them, respect their needs, ask them what they need, and believe them when they say that they need something. And then do what you can to help them based on what they say. But you're too young to be sick, or you're too young to have a disability. You can be born with disabilities, for one. And two, disability, it's not based on gender or age or race or anything. Anybody can be disabled. Anyone can, just because you're young, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be disabled. It doesn't mean that they don't have XY disease. Okay, so if your friend is having an issue, is like, oh, I can't, like maybe they're out with you, right? And they have been walking for a while, and then they're like, oh, I didn't bring my walker, and I'm really not feeling well. I have to go sit down, and maybe we need to cut this whole thing short. Yeah, don't say you're overreacting. It's like, oh, you're fine. You're not, let's go. You walked a mile with me yesterday. We've walked like 5 steps now. And what? Come on, it's fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, please don't do that. And especially if they walked a mile with you yesterday, that's likely why they're having a flare up today. And so that's also a message for the people who have disabilities, the invisible disabilities. Take care of yourself. Understand that you aren't always going to be able to do the same things, and just be okay with that. Be okay with having to say no sometimes, having to end the event early, having to do whatever it is that you need, because if you overdo it, it's always going to bite you in the butt. And that's hard. It's hard. It's hard for me. So really, it's really about being empathic with your friends and family. It's about respecting their needs, respecting what they're saying. Yeah, don't invalidate them. Don't try to make it less than what it is. It is a disability. It is something that they'll live with for the rest of their lives, most likely. And it sucks. It sucks to be disabled. It sucks to have to say no when you really want to go to the party. It sucks to like have all these things, all these ideas, and have all these things that you want to do, but you wake up and your body's like, nope, not today. You're just gonna be sleeping all day because that's all you can do today. Have fun. Think of yourself in their shoes. If you said XYZ If somebody said XYZ to you, how would you take it? If you had these conditions. And I know that's kind of difficult when you don't have a frame of reference, but just, I don't know, observe your friends and family. Observe what they're doing in day by day. Observe that, sometimes they are on fire and can do anything. Sometimes they can't do anything at all. And then just accept that they're not being lazy. Just accept that they are living their life the way that they can, and just support them. Just ask them what they need from you, and that's all you can do. No, but yeah, that's all I have for you today. And just remember, guys, you are valid, you are worthy, and you are enough. See you next time.